And radio check. So I'd just like to confirm that am I audible to you guys? Yeah, loud and clear. So hello everyone and welcome to the live stream for Watchalong of FP2 for the Austrian Grand Prix. Obviously, FP1 has been done and dusted, and the final practice for the day today for FP2. Before we start the proceedings for today, we have 9 minutes to go. So, in the meantime, thank you very much, everyone who are tuned in. Please don't forget to like the stream and subscribe the channel. Your help and support really motivates me a lot. So, yeah, apart from that, let's take a look at the results from the F1 session. Currently, the thing you can see on the screen is my predictions for the Austrian Grand Prix qualifying that will be happening tomorrow. So be free to share your predictions in the live chat as well. So yeah, my predictions, as you can see on the screen, Verstappen fastest, Norris P2 and Piastri P3. It is what I'm going for because I feel I will just run you through on that in a minute as well now. But what I feel traditionally that Max is a beast around Austria. This is a track that kind of suits his driving style a bit more. His aggression around here has been amazing in the past, may it be trying to overtake Lando or defending his position to Lando last year, or even if we go back to 2019, where he defended rigorously with Charles Leclerc to take the win and the first win for Honda back in Formula One. So that's why I have predicted Max to be P1, Lando to be P2. I have reasons for that as well. If we take a look back at the past year, when McLaren was not even a good car, in 2020, take for example, last lap Lando, if you guys might remember, Lewis had that penalty, and Lando Norris in a McLaren, I think, gained like around a second in a lap over Lewis Hamilton to take his first Formula One podium. Also in 2023, when McLaren started to bring some upgrades, it was Lando who was P3. Also in 2024, it was a good race for Lando. So, no, 2024 was not a good race. 2023 was a good race. And 2022 was a good race. Yeah, a lot of 20s there. But yeah, you get the point. Lando has been quite good and has a lot of confidence around here, which is what he needs currently. Because if we take a look at the past few races, their tide has not been going into the favor of Lando, it is to be said, because especially in the last round on his collision with Oscar, it has cost him dearly in terms of his drivers' championship hopes. I mean, the season is still quite long and there are a lot of races, if I'm not wrong, 14 to go, including this one, but still, you would like to stay as close to the championship leader as possible to maximize the chances, unless because we don't know, you are just a DNF away from absolutely bottling away your championship. Maybe it be your error or maybe mechanical error as well. It Lando was lucky last weekend that Oscar just finished P4. If Oscar would have went on to win the race, the damage in the drivers championship for Lando would have been absolutely massive. Um, Also of that DNF thing, if you guys might remember the 2016 season where Hamilton and Rosberg were absolutely matching each other in terms of pace. But the deciding factor then proved to be a DNF for Lewis in Malaysia, which, I mean, they had a crash in Spain as well, but it was even Stevens as Rosberg DNF'd as well, but the DNF for Lewis in Malaysia proved to be the turning point. So, yeah, apart from that, let's take a look at the results for FP1. Last weekend's winner, George Russell, was fastest, a lap time of 105.542 there for the Brit. Max Verstappen was P2, as I said, is quite strong down here and was less than a half a tenth slower behind George. Further back in P3, it was Oscar Piastri. Oscar Piastri again within a tenth and a half of the leaders, so McLaren still starting the weekend strong. Not the fastest which they have been throughout the season at all the tracks, but still a lot of practice is yet to be done. Alexander Dune, who was replacing Lando Norris for a junior program F1 session which teams are mandated to run throughout the season, finished P4, which is quite impressive in itself, to be honest with you. We talked about it a lot in the past stream as well. Gasly, out of all people, finished P5. Gabriel Bortoleto was P6, and then it was Albon, Sainz, Lewis Hamilton, who was in P9. Of course, Charles Leclerc in that session was not driving as well. It was, if I'm not wrong, yeah, it was Dino Beganovic in place of Leclerc, who was driving again as a part of the junior driver test program. So, not the start of the weekend Ferrari would have hoped for, but let's see how the actual pace is with both of their front running drivers. Because in the last session, Lewis spent a majority amount of time in the pits as well because of a gearbox issue on his car. So yeah, let's see how this practice session is as we have 4 minutes until FP2 is underway. So in the meantime, thank you very much everyone who are tuned in. Please don't forget to like the stream and subscribe the channel. Your help and support really motivates me a lot. So yeah, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And 4 minutes left. On the screen, you can see whole of some predictions as well from 20th to 1st. If you would like to get involved in the predictions, then be sure to tune into my community post tab where at least a week before the race, if it's a double head, if it's a normal race, and if it's a double or triple header, at least on the Monday after the race, I post a community post with a link for a Google form where you can submit your predictions like all of these people currently on a screen have, and get a chance to appear in the video if you would like to, and if you'd like to share your thoughts with me. So yeah, that is that for the predictions part. It's 3 minutes left, and I will just set up the next window. Until that time, don't go anywhere, please. So yeah, thank you for the patience there. And FP2 is now underway. Again, just a reminder, it will be the first practice session for Norris and Leclerc as they had given up their cars for the young driver test earlier in the session in the morning. As there is Lando Norris getting out on track now, and yeah, practice is underway. Please don't forget to like the stream and subscribe to the channel. Your help and support really motivates me a lot. So Lewis Hamilton, talking of Lewis Hamilton, as we currently see Lewis on screen now. I mean, as I said earlier, it will be a very important session for Ferrari as well because in FP1 session, first of all, they are running Dino Beganovic in place of Leclerc. So they can't get a lot of valuable data from a young rookie, where on the other hand, you have a seasoned driver like Leclerc. So that's a drawback. Also, if we consider that in the first session, Lewis Hamilton was nursing a gearbox issue, and because of it, for most of the session, Lewis had to be into the garage and lost a lot of running time, which again cost him some few valuable data and building up his confidence around this track. Because out of all track on the current calendar, Austria is the shortest with the least amount of corners and the fastest lap time, but you need to have a lot of confidence around here to attack yourselves into the corners. May it be turn 1, turn 3, turn 4, and especially turns 9 and 10. So, yeah, an important and crucial session for the Scuderia. As Lawson says, something is not right. My steering is pulling me massively to the right, and that can be visually seen as well. Like if Lawson is going to turn to the left, his steering is almost pushing him towards the boundary of his car, which is not at all ideal. So yeah, Lawson will try to make it to the pits. Oh, that's quite massive. Like it is like setting your steering wheel to maximum force feedback. Oh, whoa! If you can see, it is like if Lawson is letting go of the steering off, his car is completely turning the right side. So yeah, not an ideal start to the session for the V cars. And let's focus on some other drivers till now. As I said, Lando Norris will be a crucial session for him to get up to speed with the car and the track. Just a second now. And just a reminder to Sky Q, Sky Glass, or Sky Stream customers. Now you can press the red subscribe button to never miss any stream. Also press the bell icon so that you can get interactive with the channel. And also for this channel members, don't forget to take the membership. I don't know what else. Yeah, I tried to make it up on the fly. Tell me if you liked it. As Lando Norris is now currently on his flying lap, going through the final two corners. Let's see what time Lando sets. Currently, 106.202 is the fastest for Antonelli. Norris up to P5, half a second slower than Antonelli there. Yeah, riding on board with Kimi Antonelli on his fastest lap. Going to the final two corners, Kimi ran a bit more wide on the last corner. As I said in the first stream as well, track limits will be a big thing right around here, especially the last two corners. Many a lap times, even sometimes a pole can be deleted if you are not careful there. As Russell is the next driver crossing the line, fastest in sector 1, Russell up to P2. So again, early signs looking good for the Mercedes. P1 for Antonelli, P2 for Russell as the championship leader Oscar Piastri starts his flying lap. Let's take a look at where Lee. Okay, so Liam is safely into the pits now. A good job from Liam there, to be honest, because riding on board with Lawson, it was looking like his steering wheel is completely broken and it is hard lock right towards his cockpit. But great job by Lawson to bring it back to the pits and not causing a red flag. riding on board now on a lap with Oscar Piastri. As I said, Oscar Piastri in the first session was P3 with Alex Dune in P4. So let's see where Piastri's lap time is. The wind has changed quite a lot, says George Russell. If you take a look at the wind speed, it's currently 3.6 kilometers, which is not quite a lot, but still, even the slightest of changes of directions for wind is enough for this Formula One driver. As Piastri absolutely committing through the final few corners and goes fastest uh, within a tenth of Antonelli, but still, it was a good lap for Piastri. Absolutely gave it all in the final few sectors and moves himself up into P1. Okay, dokie. So if you have any questions or any things to ask about the session or all that, feel free to ask your questions in the live chat. I will be very much willing to answer any of those. Um, if Norris with the purples, what about Lando Norris? Norris currently sits in P7, not showing too much of a great lap time here. But as I said, it's only the first session for Lando this weekend, as he missed FP1. So might take a bit more time to get up to speed with the track and the track conditions. Someone is asking why is Lawson still in the pits? Lawson in the pits because his steering wheel decided to break itself and wasn't turning in the left direction. So he's in the pits now as we ride on board on a lap with Charles Leclerc. For the first time this weekend on a fast lap, Leclerc up to P16, Hamilton in P15. Um, well, well. As a Ferrari fan here, I'm stoked. I mean, I don't have any words to say at the moment. I hope it's just lifting the sandbags off a little bit, and maybe Ferrari has like around a second of pace within them. Still, they won't be able to get pole. Like, yeah, not a great start of the weekend for Ferrari, but let's be optimistic. Never lose the hopium and keep breathing the copium. That's all I have to say. Yeah, even the people are saying in the live chat Ferrari is so slow with the Leclerc. This is my favorite circuit. Slopes. Yeah, this is my favorite circuit as well. If I have to say about it, obviously with the least amount of corners. So okay, as Lando Norris is on a good lap here, fastest in sector one. Sector two time is also decent. Let's see where it puts him up. Norris up to P1, more than 2 tenths faster than Oscar Piastri. Well, that's a good lap time. Why you ask me? Because as I said, Lando Norris hasn't driven in this on this track in the F1 session. So yeah, got up to speed very quickly that Norris, and 105.905 is still a good lap time, not the fastest. Uh, why is Max in the pits? I mean, I think yeah. So Max is now out on his out lap. So is Yuki as well. I was also wondering why Max and the Red Bulls were sitting in the pits. Oh, that's traffic paradise, as Yuki will say. Let's take a look at an interesting graphic F1 output based on the car performance gains relative to McLaren. Considering McLaren as benchmark, Mercedes have gained around a tenth and a half, Ferrari have gained 200s, and Haas have gained the most, that is the 3 tenths. Whilst the biggest losers are Racing Bulls, who have lost around 2.5 tenths. Williams losing around half a second. Well, I don't believe that, to be honest with you. Like, Williams on their own have had a great season till now, but yeah, it is what it is. And it is the Alpine losing around 3 tenths. This is what F1 have to say. I mean, this thing can change from track to track and weekend to weekend, even session to session. Like the team pace keeps on changing. But yeah, kind of agree to that. That Mercedes have had a good step forward till now in this season, comparing to where I mean, it was a good start if I'm not wrong. Out of the 10 races till now, George has had top five starting and finishing position in 8 of them, and I think just lost out in Monaco because of a poor qualifying and the High Minister of Defense Alex Albon. And in Spain, it was relatively because of the high temperatures, as I talked about in the first session. So yeah, as Russell now crosses the line and goes P2, only less than a tenth slower than Norris. Okay, so that's a good lap time. This what this suggests us is maybe just maybe we might be able to see a two-way fight, two-team battle this weekend for pole position and the race win. I'm still not jumping the guns and saying, okay, it's gonna be an absolutely amazing weekend as we ride onward with Oscar Piastri. Oh, ran a bit wide. If you guys might have ever played this track on the F1 game, if ever you lock up into turn one or maybe break a slight less later, you can run wide very easily onto the curbs and that sausage curb into turn one, and just all the way you keep on sliding over it until it ends. So yeah, again an interesting graphic from F1. I was not expecting that. Penalty points 11 for Max, 6 for Liam, 5 for Lance, and 4 for Oscar. And they have mentioned that 4 for 12 for a race ban. So if again this is the last weekend, if I'm not wrong, if Max gets a penalty point this weekend, then at the next race, that is the British Grand Prix, Max Verstappen would have to sit on the bench because he is a dirty driver. That's what FIA feel. It's not my opinion. Don't this shot into my head. But as I was saying, this rule has. I think this is kind of a good rule because last year we saw with K Mag, who was being the Danish Minister of Defense. I mean, I don't know how many ministers of defense we have here in Formula One, but yeah, driving erratically and blocking others or crashing purposely into the drivers. That was the main reason why FIA have introduced this kind of penalty point system. And I think it does its work as well. Like drivers have it into the back of their mind that okay, we have to be respectful to the drivers and the track limits to not fall into any kind of trouble. So a slight bit of incident for Max, and boom, he's banned and from the British Grand Prix of all places, and which is I think the place where Max might be loved the most. So yeah, fans won't mind that, which is I feel. Taking a look at the I mean I didn't notice that, but Lando Norris in the meantime set a blistering lap, and the gap between him and Russell currently is now more than 4 tenths. So yeah, good start to the weekend till now for Lando, and let's see how that fares in. Talking of the Ferraris, Leclerc in seventh position. Not bad, not great. I mean, if you take a look at the gap, Leclerc is around 2 tenths behind Russell, which is not horrendous, but still, it is not a ideal gap to be honest with you. Because considering this is the shortest track of the year, a 2 tenths gap will be the most major around here. So yeah. Also, if you see further down, Lewis Hamilton is sitting still in P15 within the likes of Hulkenberg and Ocon and Colapinto and Behrman. Yeah, so I'm not sure they will be happy with that as we have 15 minutes left. 15 minutes done into sorry about that. 15 minutes done into FP2, and it's Lando Norris fastest of all, and Oscar Piastri now crosses the line and moves up to P1, a tenth and a half within his teammate now. Okay, things are starting to heat up a bit now. Oscar Piastri now putting a foot to the floor and showing that okay, he can have some pace as well. Hamilton radio. For some reason, I've just got no pace, mate, says Lewis. Oof. I mean, what can I say? No, nothing. I have to say nothing to that. Ferrari radio. The more I look into it, the more pain I feel. So let's ignore Ferrari for this practice session. Maybe if they have a good qualifying, we talk about them. Or I mean, let's see. And so So, thank you very much, everyone, for the patience there. I'm back now. Just went to have some dinner here. So, in the meantime, I was away for dinner. Just a few moments ago, it was. Oh my god, that sorry for that. Just a few moments ago, it was George Russell who set the fastest lap time of the session, a 105.229 for Russell on a set of relatively used soft tires. I mean, they were still soft, but he previously set a lap time which was around 200 slower than Norris's best lap. Then again, he did some cool down laps, and on the same set of tire, he went fastest. So yeah, still a relatively used set of tire, but still a great lap time there from George as he is Oscar Piastri on his flying lap. Ooh, a bit wide through turn four there. You don't usually go that wide when you are around turn four, but still, let's see what his lap time in is fastest in sector one. Also fastest in sector two, which we like normally expect from McLaren to be. So yeah, let's see what the sector three time is for Oscar here. The fastest sector one is now taken away by Lando. Oscar Piastri crossing the line goes fastest, half a second faster than George Russell. Wow, 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 wow. That's a good lap time there. But further back, Lando Norris is on a great lap as well, who is going fastest to the first sector, fastest to the second sector, giving it his everything, running a bit more wide onto the curves into turn 7, carrying maximum speed into turns 8, turns 9 and turn 10, the most trickiest parts of the corner of the track. If you are able to get them right, then there's a lot of lap time in those as well. As Lando crosses the line, goes fastest, a tenth and a half faster than his teammate, but more crucially, fastest in all three sectors for Lando Norris. So yeah, as I was saying, Lando, even though after not driving into the first session, till now it has all been a pretty pleasant session for Lando. He has looked up to speed now, has looked confident in the car, hasn't made kind of any mistakes, which I mean, I'm sad to say, but we expect from Lando. So, yeah, till now, a good build up for the weekend from him. But obviously, we all know in Canada as well, it was building up to be a great race for Lando until he bottled it up in qualifying. Talking of that, we are halfway through the session now, 30 minutes done, and it is Lando Norris, fastest of all. Oscar Piastri is P2 and Lance Stroll currently sits P3. So yeah, didn't see where this lap time came from, but yeah, P3 a good lap from Lance. Russell is P4. Finally, I see a Ferrari in the top five with Lewis Hamilton in P5 and Charles Leclerc still not having set a lap time on a set of soft tires. Obviously, he didn't run into FP1, so maybe a few different run plans going on down at Ferrari. It is Yuki Tsunoda currently who is the slowest of all, but still he is yet to set a lap time on a set of soft tires. So I don't expect to see Yuki there for a very long time. Let's see how his lap time goes now as Yuki Tsunoda climbing up the hill. A decent first sector. I mean, I will say it is not the best, but still, it looks very, very close to Lando Norris, which we have seen throughout the weekend till now by Yuki. Through the second sector goes Tsunoda. Let's see. He seems confident, like running a bit more wide, carrying a lot of speed, and it is looking good. 4 tenths slower than Lando in the first two sectors. This is what you should expect from the second Red Bull seat now. Let's see through the final two corners, and there is Yuki Tsunoda absolutely smashing it, and through the final corner goes P5. That's a good lap. That's a good lap from Yuki. Yeah, that's good. I mean, I was not expect the lab looked good and it was looking confident from Yuki himself as well. But to be honest, was not expecting Yuki to be up round there. But yeah, good lap time from Yuki there, putting himself up into P5 there. As here is Nico Hulkenberg. Oh, just a snap of post here into turn one and takes the runoff area. Nothing much going on right around there. On board with Norris on his fastest lap. Oh, again, a lot wide there into the corner number 8, scraping onto the ground and barging his way onto the track. As I said, this track is built on the Styrian Hills, so the ride around here is not always the most comfortable for the drivers. Like, expect the drivers to have at least a backache when they're out of the car because the track definitely is not one of the smoothest on the calendar. As Pierre Gasly, who was, I guess, in P4, P5 in FP1, currently sitting in P12, now is on a lap on a set of soft tires. Let's see how his lap pans out. First sector, I mean, everyone is able to like kind of not match up, but still be 2.5, 3 tenths slower than McLaren in the first sector. But is the final sector, like we saw it on the lap with George as well. He was able to absolutely smash the final sector and take the lap time away. And what I'm speaking, leave it. I'm not.